morning, beautiful people. Welcome to yet another episode of the Unib Breakfast Show with me, Peninah Wachera. I hope you guys have woken up well and are excited to face your day. Yeah? For me, I'm really excited and I'm looking forward to the conversation of the day. As it is the norm here at the Unib Breakfast Show, let's go straight to the morning bite of the day. Being a teenager has never been easy, but today it feels more overwhelming than ever. Behind the selfies, the school books, and the screens are young people carrying the weight of anxiety, pressure, identity struggles, and loneliness. Some are silently screaming for help. Others don't even know what they are feeling, just that something's not right. In this episode, we are talking about the teenage crisis, not just what it looks like, but also what it feels like. We are listening to real stories, asking hard questions, and opening a space where no one has to pretend they're okay when they're not. Whether you are a teen trying to navigate it all, a parent trying to understand, or someone who remembers what it felt like to be lost at that age, this conversation is for you. And as usual, this show is proudly brought to you by Miss Yo Ashen and Younib organization, and we're trying to reach out to the community to teach you on matters mental health. So if you need any mental health assistance, you can always call the number 0700 352-250 and our very own psychologist will be able to help you out here to interact with us, or also to ask us questions, or also to give us feedback when it comes to this conversation. You can always reach us through our social media platforms, Unib_TV on Instagram, Unib Media TV on Facebook, and there's a number on your screen. You can SMS or WhatsApp 0719-144-144. Yeah. Today, I'm joined as usual by our very own psychologist here, and I know they are really excited for this conversation. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys feeling this morning?
I'm feeling good. Happy to be here as always.
Yeah.
And very interested in this conversation because it's a very necessary conversation.
Yeah, very necessary. I agree. How is your morning?
My morning is quite okay. I'm excited for the conversation because I wish as a teenager I had the opportunity to talk about what we're going to talk about. So yeah, stay tuned.
Okay, so I'll quickly just introduce to you our psychologist here. I know you've already heard their voices, so they've been here with us for quite a long time. And on my left we have Beulah and Njagi, and on my right we have Mutembei Muthami. They are our psychologists. If you call the number to book a session, they might be one of the faces that you may come across for the help you need. Yeah, so don't feel shy. Just call the number, and I know you will be in proper hands. Yeah, in good hands. Today we are having a conversation on teenage crisis. And Mutembei, kindly tell us more or help us define the word teenage crisis.
So I would define a teenage crisis as the emotional, the social, or the identity-related issues that a teenager goes through while navigating from childhood to early adulthood. So when we talk about the crisis, we're talking about anajionaje, how are they forming friendships with their people, with their friends, are they being influenced, are they the influence? So basically everything, the emotional state, the emotional well-being of a teenager, their social tendencies, their patterns of association, and who they are as a person. Because we realize that as children, we're just children. Once you get to teenagehood, that's when you start to trying to ask yourself, okay, what's the meaning of life? What's the meaning of these interactions that I'm having? Who am I as a person? So all that internal conflict, that's what we can call, that's what we can define as a teenage crisis.
Okay, now that we've already understood what teenage crisis is all about, Beulah, help us now know the type of struggles or teenage struggles that most of our teenagers are going through now.
Right. I think Mutembei has given us quite a number as he's defining what the crisis is.
Mm-hmm.
We have what he's talked about, issues with identity. So trying to understand who am I, who are my peers, what am I good at, what am I not good at, what do I strive to become, and just them trying to make sense of this world that they're in. We have a lot of peer pressure that's happening at that age. Of course, we talked about peer pressure, and we said it's across a lifetime, but it's at this age where it starts, the negative is often more than the positive because of that curiosity. They want to adventure into, as many things, and some of the things that they're curious about or that they would want to try out may not necessarily be the best. In this day and age, we have social media and a lot of online exposure, and that has introduced so many curveballs into, being a teenager or even parenting a teenager, because you don't know who they're talking to online. You don't know the influences that they're being given concerning their bodies, concerning their careers, concerning their spirituality. Even there's so much that's coming at them from the online space, and as well, with that, there's also the exposure that they get. These days, TikTok is run by, this age group we're talking about, teenagers to young adults. And the things that are going on there is just, you can almost not believe, what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Or even that what you're seeing is being done by a child, by a teenager. So that online space has also been one major issue that has come about now. Yeah.
Okay, I like the fact that you've taken us to social media, because social media, as we were growing up, I think the most common was Facebook at that time, and it was known to many people who had this Facebook accounts were bigger than us, so it was not something for the teenagers to do. But now we have social media on a daily basis. So my question, Mutembei, is: do you think that social media has made it easier or harder for teenagers when it comes to the issue of teenage crisis? And if yes or no, why?
Okay. I would say it has definitely made it harder. Why? Because there's the issue of comparison. So we go online, we go to our phones, then we look at our friends. They're in Juba, they're in Timbuktu, or wherever they are, and then you keep asking yourself, why not me? So we are at a day and age where there's a lot of social media comparison with our lives. Social media has set high expectations when it comes to life. So you'll find that in as much as, yes, it might be very informative, there's a lot of information online. You want to know how to tie a tie, you learn from YouTube. You want to know how to build a house, you learn from University of YouTube.
Yeah.
But in as much as it's very monumental and it's very advantageous to the learning experience, you'll find that we don't necessarily use social media as a learning tool all the time. Sometimes we just want it for entertainment, and just as Beulah has said, you get to TikTok, you nashanga, hey, this 16-year-old, what is wrong with them? Where are the parents? But so you will find that in as much as the TikTok is for the teenagers and it's for like early adulthood, you will find that there's so much that is going on there that is potentially harmful. I've talked about the comparison, the high societal expectations. We've talked about the pressure to live a certain way simply because that's the norm. So in my opinion, maybe I don't know if Beulah's differs, but in my opinion, I feel like social media is making it harder to navigate the teenage life.
Okay. Yeah, Beulah, what is your opinion?
I definitely agree with that. I was just thinking, it might be unfair for us to sit here and say if it's harder or easier.
Yeah.
Perhaps if we had a teenager. But from what we can see in terms of just the effects that it has on them, the effects that it has even on us as adults, and the struggle that comes with that. So how much more someone whose prefrontal cortex is not yet developed, so their decision making is not yet at its peak, their cognitive processes are not yet at full maturity. So how much more can they be affected by it? And so, yeah, I think I do agree that it makes it harder. Studies even show that just the simple, how you can just say just 30 minutes and then you spend like 2 hours, and what it's doing to our brains and so much more to their brains, because again, not fully developed, is that it's also shortening our attention span and their attention span. So we're also getting issues in school whereby a lesson is 40 minutes, and a double lesson is now an hour 20 minutes. An hour 20 minutes. And this kid has checked out by the first 10 minutes because you're used to consuming 30 second, 1 minute, 30 second, 1 minute. And the brain is just so conditioned to that. So again, it's bringing a strain even now into the academic world. And I think there's also been such a shift in terms of Sisi and Zizetu. It's you in school, you learn, you pass, you go look for, the white collar jobs is what is being advertised. But now we're now having debates on, is this school thing even working? Is it a must? Is it necessary for someone to make it? Again, coming from social media and just how that world is. I think it's done a bit more harm than good.
Okay. And we'll also like to know from you, what is your response, or what do you think? Is it harder or easier? Also, I have the question of the day, and today's question is, what's the one thing you wish someone had said to you during your toughest teenage moment? I'll repeat the question. What's one thing you wish someone had told you or said to you during the toughest teenage moment? Please let us know through our social media platform, Unib_TV on Instagram, Unib Media TV on Facebook, and there's a number on your screen. You can SMS or WhatsApp 0719 144 144. Let's take a break and we'll come back with your feedback. Welcome back. This is still the Uni Breakfast Show, and I'll go straight to the feedback as I promised here. So the question of the day was, or is, what's one thing you wish someone had said to you during your toughest teenage moment? And someone says, I wish someone had told me, you don't have to have it all figured out right now. I felt so much pressure to know who I was and what I wanted. Someone else says, the second viewer, I just needed someone to say, I see you and I believe in you. Instead, I felt invisible and doubted. Someone else says, I wish someone had said it's okay to cry and it doesn't make you weak. I kept so much in because I thought I had to be strong. I'll sample two last one. I wish my parents had said, we are proud of you, not just for your grades, but for who you are. And the last one, you are loved, even when you feel completely alone. That sentence would have changed everything for me. Thank you for your feedback. I still have a lot more feedback, but thank you so much for always deciding to share your feedback with us. Yeah. So do you guys have any comment when it comes to the feedback given?
I think those are very vulnerable sentiments that the people have shared with us. And it's pointing to just that need of to be seen, to be heard, to be acknowledged. and to be accepted just for who you are, not because your grades are up or where, just for who you are. And I think it does touch on that identity aspect that we're talking about when we are talking about, the stages or the things that a teenager has to kind of navigate through.
First things first, I'd like to commend our viewers. They are very self-aware, and I'm happy that these shows have become very reflective for our viewers. So thank you. Kindly do share more of your feedback, but so far so good.
Yes, again, thank you for always ensuring that you share with us, and it's good that we are making impact to you guys. Yeah, so I'll get back to the conversation. We always say that family is the basic unit of everything. So even teenagers come from families. Yeah, so I'd like to know, Beulah, how does family dynamics really influence a teenager's ability to handle stress?
Okay, that's a really good question. The family is the starting point for everything, be they babies, be they toddlers, be they children, be they preteens, and going upwards. And this is because of that, the mirroring that we always talk about, that we learn by mirroring what it is that we see. And I think even our audience has given us a good idea of just how important that family is, because a lot of the comments are coming saying, I wish my parents. Like, it may not matter that maybe a teacher or someone else said it. It matters more that it started from home. And so resilience is built that way. Teenagers can learn to be very resilient if they are being affirmed at home, if they are seeing their parents also navigate through challenges and pull through, if they are in a relationship with their parents that is open, whereby they're also able to express themselves. And so they're feeling like they're in a space where they're feeling understood. So when they go out there, they don't really have to prove a point because they're feeling like they're understood, they're validated, and they're able to start learning who it is they are because of that security that is at home. So support, again, especially from parents, or let's call them the primary caregivers, whoever they may be, becomes very important for these teenagers in navigating stress. Creating a safe environment where they can come back and say, niliona TikTok ama nilisikia shule ama, a space where they can share those experiences that they have been through, where they don't feel like they're being judged, but also they're getting guidance, right?
Yeah.
For whatever it is that they're experiencing. So family does play a really huge role. You notice that in families where conflict is heightened, these teenagers may not know what to do, may not feel secure in talking to their parents. And the danger with that is you don't know where they would go, But also they may not learn how to healthily express anger. They may not learn how to set healthy boundaries because you just grew up with fear that everything ni kulipuka tu. So you don't really learn the skills of how it is, how do you then have healthy relationships, set boundaries, healthily express anger, healthily communicate what it is that you want to communicate. Yeah, so family becomes the backbone of that.
Awesome. And it's, again, we usually insist that family is really, really important. Yeah. We are having a conversation on mental health, and I know how we take mental health seriously here. Yeah. So my next question is, Mutembei, how do the teenagers right now take mental health, their mental health? Are they open to actually speak about conversations on mental health, or are they not?
Well, from what we have been seeing in schools and in our community sensitization programs, this generation, when we talk about this generation, we're talking about the teenagers, the early adults, the young adults. They are very vocal when it comes to talking about their mental health and the issues and challenges that they're facing. But even at the heart of them communicating and us providing a space where people can openly share, there's also still that stigma that society has placed, because we cannot just wake up one day and decide, you know what, we are putting all the cards on the table. There are going to be some people who are guarded. There are going to be some people who are going to be receptive. And just as Beulah has well put it, it starts at the family level. So you'll find that most of the people who are expressive in our sessions and in society in general, we'll find that at least there's a situation at home where the being vocal is encouraged. So we'll find that people who come from a household where you can talk about stuff, you can talk about your issues, they're more likely to talk about their issues to other people in regards to their mental health, as opposed to people who come from a family setting where you deal with your own problems. So you find that as opposed to, you just bottle everything up and then you let it simmer, and then siku moja unalipuka.
Yeah.
But also, in as much as people are also very vocal about their mental health, you find that a lot of the teenagers are going online. So in as much as, yes, they're talking about it, you find that they are going on rants on social media.
Yeah.
Unaingia TikTok, mtu ameteta yake yote. It's healthy, yes, but at the same time, it's kind of not healthy, because in as much as it's helping you vent and it's helping you, kuitoa hiyo maneno yote, it could be that maybe you're also implicating somebody in an open space and in the public eye. So in as much as, yes, our teenagers are being very vocal about the issues that they're going through, there are some of us who are not going about it the right way. You'll find that we are like, tunasemanga, I gotta put me first,
Yeah.
So, but you'll find that in you putting yourself first, you might be implicating another person, because it's in the day and age of social media, which means the internet never forgets. So in as much as inakusaidia kutoa and you're talking about it and you're being vocal about it, there's also the aspect of, is it very healthy? Are you doing it in a healthy way? So maybe our viewers could tell us maybe our viewers could tell us who has been on a social media rant and how did it feel and what were the implications.
Yeah, that's a nice question, and I'll feel free actually to share that when it comes to this conversation. Yeah, remember you can always interact with us through our social media platforms: Unib_TV on Instagram, Unib Video TV on Facebook, and there's a number on your screen. You can SMS or WhatsApp 0719-144-144. Remember, if you need any mental health help, you can always call the number 0700-352-250, and our very own psychologist will be able to help you out. We are going for a short break, and when we come back, we'll be answering what are the indicators that may tell or a parent or somebody else about teenage crisis. So don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is still the Unib Breakfast Show, and today our conversation is all about teenage crisis. Yeah, all of us have been there, and some of us are still experiencing this teenagehood. Yeah, and sometimes it's very foggy, sometimes it's very difficult to handle, and that is why we are having this conversation, to be able to shed light, to also share our experiences for those people who we have already passed our teenagehood. Maybe it will help somebody else in their teenage life right now, and maybe if you're a parent out there, at least you're shedding light so that you may be able to help your teenagers. Yeah. So before the break, I had informed you guys that we'll be coming back with indicators, that is the telltale signs about mental health crisis. Yeah. So Beulah, please explain to us some of the indicators.
Right. So again, we've talked about this almost in every conversation that we have had. And they generally tend to be the same things. So it takes a keen parent to really identify, okay, so what's going on here? So we have at the behavioral level, we will see changes in sleep, we will see changes in appetite. We'll also see changes in their personality, if I can call it that. Mm-hmm. We'll also see changes in their personality in that a lot of them tend to become more isolated or to kind of withdraw from their circle of friends, even from family time. And I know there's that stage in teenagehood where teenagers generally don't want to hang out with their parents much, but it's always important to still check in with them, because you need to be able to know what is a normal amount and what is an indicator that this teenager is probably undergoing a mental health challenge. We also have mood swings. Again, it's something that is normal for that period of time that they're in. Because there's a lot of hormones, there's a lot of changes that is happening within them. So you'd find that there's a lot of outbursts of anger, a lot of moodiness, some get teary, some get sad all the time. But again, you need to be close with your child so that you're able to tell, is this just, the normal part of adolescence? Ukimwacha 20 minutes, they come back, they've resolved the emotion? Or could it be a sign that something more is happening, going back to the challenges that we talked about. And I think one of them is also bullying as well. So we need to identify what's going on around that child. We also have academics that are also, usually such a tell. So when their performance goes down, it's important to ask yourself or to find out what is happening, what is going on in that child's life that is affecting their ability to concentrate or to perform well, or whatever area of academics has been affected. You'd also find that these teenagers, sometimes it's normal for them to become very lethargic, utasikia tu hajisikii kufanya anything. So now you hear a lot of comments of this child used to be very active. Namwambia ende aoge, ashaoga, tengeneza bed, ashafanya, 3 things in one. Yeah. And now they're a teenager, you can't even get them to get out of bed or to shower or to wash dishes or to do those simple things. So there's an aspect where they become very lethargic, and it takes a parent to be intentional in ensuring that they don't grow up to be irresponsible. But on the side of, experiencing a mental health challenge, you'd notice that if that keeps carrying on, where they're constantly on low energy or fatigue, then you may need to be concerned. If they have completely lost interest in things that they used to be interested in, then it's also a cause of alarm for that teenager.
Okay, now we have known the tell signs or the indicators that we can be able to say, okay, my teenager or my friend who is a teenager is going through a crisis, is going through something when it comes to their mental health, So Mutembei, please let us know or help us understand how we can be able to create a safe space for these teenagers to be able to also open up when it comes to their mental health, to also be able to open up and speak out of what they're going through.
Mm-hmm. The good thing about building a safe space is that it starts with you. So it starts with asking yourselves, am I a safe space for my people? Am I approachable enough that people can tell me about their problems and not feel judged? Am I going to listen and offer solutions? So I'm nitasikiza and say, "Wow, sasa utadu." So creating a safe space starts with you as a person. by asking yourself, what is a safe space for me? You know, so because once you understand what a safe space is, this is somewhere that you can, with no judgment, with confidentiality, with a space where you can you share and get solutions. Once you understand that, then you're able now to create that space simply because you understand that. So a safe space could include just a shoulder to cry on. It could be advice. It could be, just somebody you share something and then be like, oh, know what, now it's shared. It's not just a me problem now. So that isikuwe ati unabeba mzigo peke yake. At least unajua, anyway, I'm going through something, but at least I have people around me who know that I'm going through something. Because, is in as much as you also want to be supported, you also need to support other people.
Okay, awesome. I hope now we have gotten to take notes about this conversation, and also we are ready and willing to be the people to create the safe space for others. And we are told change begins with us. Yeah. So if we want to make others feel comfortable, we have to ensure that we create the space. We be the people who will say, okay, mi sina shida, you just talk, yeah? Even though I am venting, just listen to the person. Sometimes they just don't want you to actually tell them or give them advice. They just want you to just give a listening ear. So it's good for us to just be open. Let's be the first people to actually open spaces where our friends can feel safe, our own children can feel safe, even our own parents may sometimes. Because at times we might think that it's only us who are going through issues. But even when your parent tries and talks to you, it's good to just give a listening ear, even though you don't have to give advice. Yeah. So I want us to do just something to finish up the conversation. Yeah. So I want you guys to imagine yourselves when you were younger. Mm-hmm. And I want you guys to go back to those days and try and give your younger self advice when it comes to how to handle the hard times in their teenagehood. Tuanze na nani?
I could start.
Okay.
So giving voice to my
younger self.
Yeah. Okay. So giving voice to my younger self, I feel that I would tell them, go out of the house, go meet your people, because it's taken me quite a long time to understand that the way I perceive things, there are people who also perceive things in a certain way. The interests that I thought that were a bit awkward or unconventional, other people also share the same interests, and the people who you're seeking for are also seeking you. I live by the mantra that whatever you seek is also seeking you. So I didn't go seeking, so it didn't find me.
Yeah.
So if you're out there and you're a teenager, go seek what you want and you're going to find it.
Okay, awesome advice there to your younger self. I hope you're taking notes, guys. And if you're a teenager, I hope you'll be able to find this advice useful. Yeah. So Beulah.
I feel like I need to tell myself that there is nothing wrong with how I process or how I feel or how I go about situations, more so in social spaces. I think I've said this before. I was a very, very introverted child,
yeah.
With a lot of social anxiety. And the thing that comes with that is it's not often, the introverts are, okay, in my experience, there were fewer. And so when you see all these people being all expressive and they look fearless, I spent a lot of time thinking there was something wrong with me. And therefore I didn't even get to know myself or my full potential, because I was always looking for that which is wrong. So I would really affirm myself that there is nothing wrong with you, just jijue tu.
Yeah, it takes time actually to even identify yourself. So it's important actually to just be you. Actually, yeah. For me, I think the best advice I can give to my younger self is one, time will heal every wound. It might not feel like at that particular time you might be hard on yourself or hard on your family, but again, just know with time everything will just become better. So sometimes we might feel we are stuck in a position where we can't move because of the issues that are happening maybe around you, with your friends, with your family members. But again, when you continue with life, somehow solutions come seeking. Inajileta tu. So Yes, that is the advice I could give to my younger self. So I hope you guys have been able to enjoy this conversation. Have been able to actually learn from this conversation. And if you are not a teenager, you're a young adult who is already off from the teenagehood, I hope also you've gotten the opportunity to reflect on your past teenage life and know now where you can be able to work better on, and what lessons also you can now take to carry on with you when it comes to your adulthood. Yeah. So thank you so much, guys, for coming and helping us be able to learn more about the teenage crisis. It's a conversation that is needed to be had, and I'm happy that we've gotten to have it here on Younib TV. Yeah. So thank you so much. Again, we are always very, very happy having you guys on set. Asanteni sana.
Thank you.
Yeah. And to everyone who has made this show a success, thank you so much, Elias Mochina, for being the camera person and also our director, and today also our timekeeper. Yeah. So thank you so much for the good work you've been doing for the Uni Breakfast show. And to our viewers, thank you for always making sure that you send us your feedback. You also tell us also how you've been feeling. And it's been awesome seeing that we are now reflecting together. We are now learning together. And that is the main reason we are here, to be able to inform you, to be able to learn from each other, and also to just make life more bearable and how we can be able to make ourselves better. So thank you so much. Remember, it's important, if you find that or you know that somebody needs to hear this conversation or needs to hear these truths, yeah, it's good for you to share to them so that it may reach to other people as much as it should be able to be helpful to everyone. Yeah. So until next time, do have yourselves a beautiful day ahead. Goodbye.